Ravens, Raiders. But the Ravens keep getting hit with injuries. It's cornerback Marcus Peters now and running back Gus Edwards. Season-ending torn ACLs in practice, sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter. Peters went down with a knee injury first, and Edwards was injured a few plays later, according to a source. Ravens coach John Harbaugh called an end to practice, the source added. J.K. Dobbins tore the ACL in his left knee in the preseason finale, August 28th. Justice Hill also hurt an Achilles tendon. Ravens have added Devontae Freeman and Le'Veon Bell to the practice squad. If this was 5 years ago, they'd be impossible to beat. What does this mean for Lamar Jackson, right?
Okay, how come are they going to get Latavius Murray? I mean, he just got cut by the Saints, right? It seems like a feasible option since he's available, right?
Yeah, I think Latavius Murray is a good one. But if we're just talking about the running back spot to replace somebody, I was talking to Evan last night, and we were going over some stuff. And so I said to him, and I said to you guys, I said, if I'm in that room, and I don't know what Mark Ingram's situation was, why he departed or why they let him go other than injury, I would kick the tires on that and find out if I could trade back for him. Because in Houston, come on, seriously? He's getting a check. He's going to play well, get a check. They're not going anywhere. But if you go back to Lamar's MVP year, who was the running back? Mark Ingram. Who knows the offense? Mark Ingram. So you bring in other people in that have to get up to speed on what they do. And so I'm like, well, why not give up a late round pick? And we've seen teams and coaches do this before. Go back and get a guy that was with you once before because you give up a draft pick and you get him and you absorb the salary. And now you don't have to teach all over again. But question to you guys, what's the most important injury to this
Secondary.
team? Is it Marcus Peters or is it the running game?
Peters. I mean, their running game, who's their most dominant runner? It's the quarterback. And I'll tell you something.
Yeah, but he can't run Max without the
no doubt. Mark
him.
Ingram, by the way, also used to dominate the press conferences. Let's not forget about that. But that's real because he and Lamar obviously had a thing going, and so I agree, Key. That would be, you would want to at least kick the tires there. Who now?
Yeah,
I want to focus on the AFC North for a second because we're just coming off talking about the Steelers and the Browns and now the Ravens. What does this mean for these other teams? Does this mean that the Steelers are now the primary threat to the Browns if we see the Browns as the number one team in the division? Does this mean anything for the Bengals, Key?
Well, the Bengals is going to be sitting in fourth. They sitting in fourth, man. It puts the pressure on the Ravens, though. That's really all it does. It just puts more pressure on the Ravens because we talk about all the injuries that they've lost, but now they lose Marcus Peters. But let's remember, Matt Judon left in free agency. He was an important piece to what they do on the defensive side of the ball. So when you start to think about with the injuries and the people that departed to go to other places, they've got a lot of stuff that they need to replace. So it just puts more pressure on the Ravens. But I think the Cleveland Browns, to answer your question, is above everybody else, but not 100 yards in front.
I agree with that, Jay.
I disagree with you guys both. And look, the talent that the Browns have, they are by far the superior team with what's happened in that division.
And they're healthy.
Key just laid out all the injuries we've had to the Baltimore Ravens. We talk about what Pittsburgh lost in the offseason. Granted, Ben Roethlisberger, Najee Harris. We'll see what that O-line can open up. And I'm not discounting Mike Tomlin at all. I'm just saying, if we're talking about what Tampa Bay or what Dallas looks like on paper, and I know that these divisions are fights. When you look at what the Browns have, even what they added defensively, right, in Malik, and you talk about Jadeveon Clowney, and we're talking about Myles Garrett being up for Defensive Player of the Year. Offensively, the way they run the ball with Kevin Stefanski, Key, you're saying one of the best coaches they've had in Cleveland for a long time. it's theirs to lose. I don't understand how you guys aren't agreeing with me on that.
I think it's going to be a tight division because you have Pittsburgh and Baltimore are always competitive franchises. I don't think they're not going to be competitive, but I'm with you. We all agree the Browns are the class of the division, at least on paper. The Ravens are hoping Lamar Jackson can get into the zone without 3 of his top running backs. How many running backs do you have? Without your 3 running backs.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.